Buddham Namah Dhammam Namah Sangham Namah.
Part 6. The Buddha and His Contemporaries. 1. His Contemporaries. 2. His attitude to his contemporaries. 1. His Contemporaries. 1. At the time when Gautama took Parivraja, there was a great intellectual ferment in the country. Besides the Brahmanic philosophy, there were as many as 62 different schools of philosophy, all opposed to the Brahmanic philosophy. Of them, at least 6 were worthy of attention. 2 of these schools of philosophy, there was one headed by Purana Kassapa. His doctrine was known as Akriyavada. He maintained that the soul was not affected in any way by karma. One may do, or one may get things done. One may do injury, or one may get someone to kill. One may commit theft or dacoity, or one may get theft or dacoity committed. One may commit adultery, or one may get adultery committed. One may tell a lie, or one may get a lie told. Nothing affects the soul. An act, however licentious, does not affect the soul with sin. An act, however good, does not bring merit to the soul. Nothing has any kriya, result, on the soul. When a person dies, all the elements of which he is made join in their originals. Nothing survives after death, neither body nor soul. 3. Another school of thought was known as Niyativada. Its chief propounder was Makhli Ghosal. His doctrine was a kind of fatalism or determinism. He taught that no one can do anything or undo anything. Things happen. No one can make them happen. No one can remove unhappiness, increase it or diminish it. One must undergo one's share of the experiences of the world. 4. The third school was known as Uchchedwada. Its chief propounder was Ajit Keskambal. His doctrine was a kind of nihilism. He taught that there was nothing in yajna, haum. There is no such thing as the fruits or effects of deeds to be enjoyed or suffered by the soul. There is neither heaven nor hell. Man is made up of certain elements of unhappiness in the world. The soul cannot escape it. Whatever sorrow or unhappiness there was in the world, the soul cannot escape. This sorrow or unhappiness will come to an end automatically. The soul must undergo rebirth during 84 lakhs of cycles of Mahakalpas. Then only the sorrow and unhappiness of the soul will end, not before nor by any other means. 5. The fourth school was known as Anyonyavad. The head of this school was Pakudha Kachana. He preached that there are 7 elements which go to make up a being, namely Prithvi, Apa, Tez, Vayu, Sukha, Dukha and the soul. Each is independent of the other. One does not affect the other. They are self-existent and they are eternal. Nothing can destroy them. If any one chops off the head of man, he does not kill him. All that happens is that the weapon has entered the 7 elements. 6. Sanjay Belputta had his own school of philosophy. It was known as Vikshepvada, a kind of skepticism. He argued, if anyone asked me, is there heaven? If I feel there was, I would say yes. But if I feel there was no heaven, I would say no. If I am asked whether human beings are created, whether man has to suffer the fruits of his action, whether good or bad, and whether the soul lives after death, I say nay to all these, because I don't think they exist. This is how Sanjay Belputta summed up his doctrine. 7. The sixth school of philosophy was known as Chaturyan Samvarvad. The head of this school, who was alive at the time when Gautama was searching for light, was Mahavir, who was also called Niganta Nathputta. Mahavir taught that the soul had to undergo rebirth because of the bad karmas done in the past life and in the present life. One must therefore get over the bad, he suggested, by tapascharya. For preventing the doing of bad karmas in this life, Mahavir prescribed the observance of Chaturyama Dharma, i.e., observance of 4 rules. 1. Not to kill. 2. not to steal. 3. Not to tell a lie. And 4. Not to have property and to observe celibacy. 2. His attitude to his contemporaries. 1. The Buddha did not accept the teachings of the new philosophers. 2. His rejection of their teaching was not without reasons. He said that 3. If the doctrines of Purana Kasyapa or Pakudha Kachyana were true, then one can do any evil or any harm. One may even go to the length of killing another without involving any social responsibility or social consequences. 4. If the doctrine of Makhli Ghosal is true, then man becomes the slave of destiny. He cannot liberate himself. 5. If the doctrine of Ajit Keskambal is true, then all that man has to do is to eat, drink and make merry. 6. If the doctrine of Sanjay Beta Putta was true, then man must float about and live without a positive philosophy of life. 7. If the doctrine of Niganta Nath Putta was true, then man's life must be subjected to asceticism and tapascharya, a complete subjugation and uprooting of man's instincts and desires. 8. Thus, none of the paths of life suggested by the philosophers appealed to the Buddha. He thought they were the thoughts of men who had become hopeless, helpless and reckless. He therefore decided to seek light elsewhere. Part 7. Comparison and Contrast. 1. What he rejected. 2. What he modified. 3. What he accepted. 1. What he rejected. 1. This survey of the philosophical and religious thought shows that at the time when the Buddha formulated his sasana, certain ideas had a firm grip on the mind of the people. They were: I. Belief in the infallibility of the Vedas. 2. Belief in moksha or salvation of the soul, i.e., its ceasing to be born again. 3. Belief in the efficacy of rites, ceremonies and sacrifices as means of obtaining moksha. 4. Belief in Chaturvarna as the ideal for social organization. V. Belief in Iswara as the creator of and in Brahman as the principle underlying the universe. 6. Belief in Atmana, or the soul. 7. Belief in Sansara, wandering together, i.e., transmigration of the soul. 8. Belief in Karma, i.e., the determination of man's position in present life by deeds done by him in his past life. 2. In formulating the principles of his Sasnathe, Buddha dealt with this old stock of ideas in his own way. 3. The following are the ideas which he rejected. I. He condemned indulging in speculation as to the whence, whither and what am I. 2. He discarded heresies about the soul and refrained from identifying it with either the body, sensations, volitions and consciousness. 3. He discarded all the nihilistic views which were promulgated by certain religious teachers. 4. He condemned such views as were held by heretics. He discarded the theory that the cosmic progress had a known beginning. 6. He repudiated the theory that a god created man, or that he came out of the body of some Brahma. 7. The existence of the soul he either ignored or denied. 2. What he modified. I. He accepted the great grand law of cause and effect with its corollaries. 2. He repudiated the fatalistic view of life and other equally foolish view that a god predestined as to what should happen for man and the world. 3. He discarded the theory that all deeds committed in some former birth have the potency to produce suffering, making present activity impotent. He denied the fatalistic view of karma. He replaced the view of karma by a much more scientific view of karma. He put new wine in old bottle. 4. Transmigration, sansara, was replaced by the doctrine of rebirth. He replaced the doctrine of moksha or salvation of the soul by the doctrine of nibbana. 5. The Buddha Sasana is thus an original piece. The little in it which is old is either modified or restated. 3. What he accepted. 1. The first distinguishing feature of his teachings lay in the recognition of the mind as the center of everything. 2. Mind precedes things, dominates them, creates them. If mind is comprehended, all things are comprehended. 3. Mind is the leader of all its faculties. Mind is the chief of all its faculties. The very mind is made up of those faculties. 4. The first thing to attend to is the culture of the mind. 5. The second distinguishing feature of his teachings is that mind is the fount of all the good and evil that arises within and befalls us from without. 6. Whatsoever there is of evil, connected with evil, belonging to evil, that issues from the mind. Whatsoever there is of good, connected with good, belonging to good, all issues from mind. 7. If one speaks or acts with a pounded mind, then affliction follows him, as the wheels of the cart follow the feet of the bullocks who pull the cart. The cleaning of the mind is, therefore, the essence of religion. 8. The third distinguishing feature of his teachings is the avoidance of all sinful acts. 9. The fourth distinguishing feature of his teaching is that real religion lies not in the books of religion but in the observance of the tenets of the religion. 10. Can anyone say that the Buddha's religion was not his own creation?
Buddha